Hi, I'm Kim Burke from One-on-One in State College, Pennsylvania, and with me today I've got my son Ryan. Ryan, thanks for being with us. I understand we're going to be talking about some golf training today.
Yes, we are. We're going to talk about my top 10 favorite exercises that I'd like to do with my recreational golfers. Most of the recreational golfers that we see today are really tight in their upper backs, tight in their hips, and that carries over to an improper and not as effective golf swing. We work on these exercises with them so that when they walk out of here, they're looser, they have better posture, and that carries over to their golf game.
Very good, very good. Well, why don't we run the tape? We'll talk a little bit more specifically about what these exercises are and what they do for us. So let's take a look at the tape.
All right, starting off with the supro dance, loosening up the foot and ankle in the frontal plane.
Yeah. Boy, I like what's going on with this exercise because this is not what we normally do in our everyday activities. Every day we're usually moving more in the sagittal plane. This is good.
Okay, moving on to the lumbopelvic area, we are doing some anterior and posterior pelvic tilts in a cupid position. Lots of different ways to do it. You can also do it in a standing position, which is more relevant to a golfer.
That's good. Yes, let's take a look at this. What I see sometimes happening with golfers is that when they finish on that follow-through, they don't really know how to rotate that pelvis into that posterior tilt and protect that lower back with their glutes. So this is excellent. Excellent.
Now we're looking at a deadlift here. What I love about the deadlift is it trains the whole posterior chain, which we know is underused in a quad-dominant society, and we also know that in the golf swing, the posterior chain, especially the hamstrings and the glutes, need to be strong.
Yeah, you can, every time you step up into your address position, you've got to be able to maintain that hinge, and, do you have the muscular endurance to maintain that for 18 holes, right? That's real important.
Yeah, that is definitely important. What else is important is to be able to maintain neutral spine for 18 holes. Here we have an anterior cone reach, simulating picking the ball up out of the hole, and as you can see, we're loading up the hips, loading up the ankles, loading up the knee, and protecting the structures of our spine as we raise and lower our center of gravity.
So Ryan, another issue we often see with recreational golfers is their inability to rotate properly. Obviously, golf is a game that requires a lot of rotational velocity. I like what you're doing here as you're working to internally rotate the pelvis in relation to the femur and still, once again, maintaining neutral spine.
Speaking of rotational velocity, look at this golfer's twist. Getting real functional with the golf swing, moving the hips and shoulders together. One challenge I see with most recreational golfers is their inability to extend and rotate their thoracic spine in their backswing. Here we have a half kneeling diagonal lift, and we're in a hip extended position, which promotes the thoracic extension and rotation.
Very good. Ryan, tell me about this chop pattern you're working here.
Now we're bringing it all together. We're maintaining a neutral spine, rotating the hips in the transverse plane, and we're working a diagonal pattern that we see on the downswing. Okay, maintaining this theme of bringing it all together, now we're working a diagonal lift, and this is training the impact and the follow-through position. We're starting to do it with power. We're getting the whole body involved, getting coordinated, and what I love about it is we're training that posterior tilt at the top, really rotating off that inside foot.
Ryan, that was awesome stuff. I mean, those exercises, they seem to me like they'd be good for just about anybody, but I can see how specifically it's absolutely going to help that golfer, especially those that are all locked up in their thoracic spine like we talked about, those hips, and even getting them moving in that frontal plane with their foot and their ankle, because that's just not movement that we normally do. Yeah.
Yeah, especially they all come in here with a seated posture. We get them out of here, out of that seated posture. They're loosened up, and if they continue working on this, it'll definitely carry over into their golf swing, and their golf game will improve.
Yeah, good. All right, well, thanks again.